I've been getting questions. I'm trying to now do them on video as well as blogs. And a question I get quite a lot is regarding money, like how much it will take to launch a lingerie brand, how much money you should start with. So I'm going to cover about like what I did and what I know of the industry. So when I started my brand, I had my own personal money, which I put in. I think it was a couple of thousand, and this is going back 2005. So I had that, which obviously didn't last that long. I took part-time jobs, and that would be either shop work or bar work. And when my brand grew, I decreased the hours I did in those jobs, and then when it sort of lulled a little bit, I increased my hours, and that sort of gave me the stability to not put all the pressure on to like pay myself at the start. I also went to Princess Trust, which I can solely recommend because we do a low repayment for the first 6 months of your loan. They put you with a mentor as well, which I met once a month, and I borrowed, I think it was about $3,500. I also entered any competition or anything like that to get money. So I did a business course with Invest NI and received, as well as them mapping out my business plan, I received a £750 grant. I entered a competition for, again, that was Invest NI, and won Entrepreneur of the Area, and that involved lots of press. What else did I do? Oh, I went with Belfast City Council. I paid them, I think it was £100, and they brought in lots of different small businesses. But from that, they then promoted you in the area and had contacts in Southern Ireland to go into shops and everything to set up meetings. So that was really helpful. I applied for and got a grant for shows, for showing over the water, which meant if you were showing over in England and you lived in Southern Ireland or Northern Ireland, you got a grant to help you bring all your product over the water to show in a show. So I showed at the Harrogate lingerie show, and I got, I think it was, they paid 50% of all my outgoings, not including travel. So that was the show, any promotion I needed for it. So in total, that was a grant for, I think it was 1,200, which was a really helpful step forward, because I was showing at a show and I was getting then obviously my name out. So depending on whether you're going to do it all yourself, whether you're going to go to a manufacturer to do it, obviously your costs will vary a great deal. To get a brief, say, manufactured in the UK, you're looking at around about anything, it depends on the intensity of your brief. If you're doing a simple, say, mesh front back gusset lining brief, it's going to vary different than if you were doing, say, a brief with 7 panels and straps and different elastics. But the cost of a brief in a manufacturer can vary from, say, £6 all the way up to 18. A bra, you're looking around the reams of, again, around about 18 up into the late 20s. Again, depending on how much detail you have, how much, the size of your order. And then obviously you have fabric costs, elastic costs, the stage to get it, a sample made, the stage to get it from the pattern through to grading, whether you grade it all yourself. Some factories do it all in-house, and they would do you a package of, say, from initial sketch right the way through to finished product, and that's really good if you're starting out And if you are going down that route, I would advise you know exactly what you want them to do, rather than approach them and say, oh, I just want a sample, and then decide later on, oh, actually I need all the manufacturing doing. It's cheaper if you know exactly what you need to do. I mean, and that can vary costs, but you are looking into the thousands usually for, say, a start product through to finish. The thing I think to take away is you don't have to do everything at once. You could spread it out over a set amount of time, whether that's you doing it yourself or with someone else. The stumbling block is always manufacturing with costs and everything and hitting minimums. So if you can get yourself to a position where you know what you're looking for fabric wise, or whether you've had a mock sample made up, even if it's just a really basic one being sewn, then it's far easier and it's going to cost you less further down the road getting it all made up. Manufacturing is the biggest stumbling block. That whenever I speak to people wanting to design their own lingerie, that is the biggest sort of hurdle. So if you can get to that bit, that's pretty awesome. When I started my lingerie brand, I gave myself a set amount of time. So I gave it a year until I would get my first order. And then if I hadn't have done it where I was living there, I was going to come back to England, just get a job as a lingerie designer and then continue it in the background. And I gave myself a total of 3 years then from my initial, right, this is what I'm going to do. And I thought if I hadn't got far, hadn't got anywhere, then at least I'd tried it, and then it wouldn't always be in my mind of, oh, I wonder what would happen if, or I really want to do this but I've never done it. So it helps if you give yourself a time limit. Helps, I don't know, a budget is great. I wasted bits of money on, I decided I needed to do t-shirts. I think I did, not I think, I know. I did jewellery. I just did lots of stuff I probably didn't need to spend my money on, thinking I had to be bigger or thinking I had to be like this brand. Whereas if I'd have probably concentrated on just doing lingerie, what I knew and what I was good at, I probably would have got further quicker and not spent as much money. I always had a plan of getting stocked into shops, getting stocked on my website to get money in, which I think you always need a plan rather than just think, oh, I want to design lingerie. Well, who's it for? Where's it going? And what shops are you targeting? I think they're always a key. And if you're just doing it online, awesome, then you know. And I think that will help with how much you're going to order, how much you want to spend on it, how much you're going to mark the lingerie up. I think so. Money, you can pay for it yourself, you can get a loan, or you can get a loan which works out cheaper in the long run, say like Princess Trust. Apply for any competitions or any grants or anything out there. There is still some out there. They're pretty hard to find, but there is some out there.